So thank you for joining this series of interviews for the Green DG Hub project. We are interviewing currently professionals from the Slovenian ecosystem. And first of all, can you please introduce yourself and what do you do?
Yes, hi. I'm happy to join this interview. My name is Aigerim Kaumenova. I'm the director of CEEMAN, and CEEMAN is the International Network for Management Development.
hmm So, can you tell me from Siemens' vantage point, what leadership capabilities do young founders in CEE need most to drive green and digital innovation?
Right. Well, I'll be probably speaking from the words of our member schools from the CEE region,
Yeah.
because I originally come from a different region, and I've been here for
Mhm.
just a short while. But I think that's a universal thing, not very specific to this region, but responding direct to your question, the areas would be the mindset that is very adaptive
Mhm.
because it's a constant change that we go through, and whether that's related to the green and digital transitions or any other things that happen in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, it's very important to be agile and to be able to respond to those changes or embrace the changes or even start those things. I would also mention the hybrid literacy, the ability to embrace the AI and all those digital platforms and things that we use today. I cannot imagine our life without the technology.
Mhm.
And the third thing is probably resilience, being able to face the challenges, face the resource constraints that happen when for young startups, and of course to face the legal and regulatory changes that might happen. So these are the three main things that I see. Of course, we can also talk about the ethics and leadership as
Mhm.
something that the founder should look
So,
into.
and how
Yeah.
do you, so how does Siemens' mission translate into practical leadership,
Yeah.
practical leadership support for young entrepreneurs?
Right. Well, our main mission is to advance management education, and through that, we help management and business schools grow. And when the schools grow, then they reach the mission that they have. The end game for management schools is to have a great intellectual output, and these are the young, fresh graduates that then start their own business, or they start their own business while they're studying. It doesn't matter. So uh, basically, then if you see from that lens, then it's for us to advance this leadership and to help uh, young voices to embrace the change. And what we do as a network, we promote certain values. So for us, we have a set of values that we always follow as a network, and we kind of communicate that to our members, and those people who join us means that they also follow those values. This is excellence in everything that you do, and you always aspire to reach for the highest high.
Mhm.
Then there's relevance, how relevant you are to things you do, to the market you operate in, and of course dynamism. But what we mean by dynamism is actually what I mentioned earlier, is embracing the change and how you manage those things. But we also focus on responsibility.
Mhm.
We see it's very important to nurture the young minds that are responsible, that they know that every action they have has an impact on
Mhm.
on their surroundings.
Mhm.
So through this, um, I mean, following those nice, inspiring words, we offer certain products, let's say,
Mhm.
to member schools, which are some capacity building programs, development programs for the university leadership, for the faculty, for the staff that run universities, that then they can um, translate those skills and knowledge to the students.
Mhm.
We offer an internationally recognized accreditation, which means that we evaluate the schools from the standpoint of their quality of what they offer. So we evaluate the programs. During the accreditation process, we actually talk to the current students. We
Mhm.
talk to the current faculty, and we also talk to alumni and corporate partners.
Mhm.
This is for us to make a comprehensive picture about the institution and to see that what they are claiming on their websites and their activities and the report that they submit to us as an accreditation agency, that it's really true. And this is probably the best channel for us to interact with the young students. And many of them are already entrepreneurs because we serve the management schools and I see
Mhm.
that the today's generation is very much more than us probably are risk takers and they already start their projects early uh, before they graduate. So it's always interesting to
Mhm.
catch up with them, and we get a nice feedback from them, and that also brings us to understand maybe we should also alter our um, requirements when it comes to the accreditation. For example, as I said, we look into the relevance. So then we have to see that whether the programs that they offer are really applied. Are they really preparing the students for the real life challenges?
Mhm.
Or is it just the theory-based information? And one more example that I would want to share is we have a program it's called the Teachers Academy, International Teachers Academy, and we offer a case method as the main method of educating educators. And we always talk about the importance of writing cases that are based
Mhm.
on the local companies because I mean, it could be good to know what's happening somewhere abroad. Like when I was studying, most of the cases were like Nestle, Coca-Cola,
Mhm.
Ford, and all those big corporations, which of course are interesting to learn about, but they were not applied. Then when I worked for SME, we had a family business. I was struggling to understand what do I do with the knowledge about Nestle, which is a huge corporation, and how do I translate it into what I do on a day-to-day basis in a tiny little SME back home.
Mhm.
So it's very important to have local content in the education, and I think this is how we as CEEMAN help the management schools, and that is how it's translated into a practical support for
Mhm.
entrepreneurs.
And if you have to like define a leadership compass for young founders, which principles would you think are the most important? For example, like ethics or sustainability or innovation or maybe focus on profits?
Yeah, yeah. I think it should somehow balance it out. Uh, I think it's very important to have a purpose in life, and same it goes with the business. So if it's a purpose-driven leadership, it's that would really make a change in the society.
Mhm.
And if we talk about green and digital transition in that context, then it is utterly important to ask yourself a question: what sort of positive change I could bring with the things that I'm doing with this specific business that I'm running for the planet, for the society, for the community that I operate in. That's very important. So that kind of counts in the integrity, that counts in ethics that you mentioned. And of course, to look into innovation, because any digital and green transition probably is related to some innovative mm, models, technologies. So to not to be scared,
Mhm.
to embrace the new and unknown things, and I think this is how um, how you build out the partnership. So I think it's another thing is very important is to build a community around yourself, to build this ecosystem that you would know who are your stakeholders, what are their needs, what are they expecting from you, and then to find like-minded people in the network. Even these, if these are your competitors, at least you could know the community around you, and you could form an alliance, you can collaborate. So I would say the leadership compass for today would be to have a purpose, to have a mission, to lead with innovation, and of course to build partnerships.
Hmm. And how might CEEMAN help us set up a cross-institutional leadership studios across member schools, like joint
Well, we are
challenges?
as a
Yeah,
network,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, we are as a network already provide a platform for dialogue. You've been already to our annual conference last year
yeah,
in Innsbruck, and
yeah.
this is one of the examples how we could help and how we create this cross-cultural, cross-institutional, cross-sectoral communication and cooperation, because people talk to each other, they learn about each other, they know about their challenges. And then, as I mentioned, we have this accreditation that is this framework that we operate within, that also help, schools to understand that, okay, there is a certain benchmark where we should aim at. And there is a kind of a, not just a framework, but it's also a feedback system that you could get a peer review feedback from fellow colleagues in other schools. And I mean, we do research. We have now already almost 15 years of a project running on small and medium-sized companies across the globe.
Hmm.
And this third cycle that we are running now covers 70 companies in 30 countries in different continents. And we see here our facilitation role on how to build this cross-cultural analysis and to share the story of not schools, so the companies that are probably would otherwise never find a way to talk to each other.
Hmm.
But there
Hmm.
are certain features that bring them together.
Hmm.
There is a certain research framework, and they fall into this framework, and that we reached out to them through our network and connected with them, and we created this cross country analysis. So this is also one of the examples how we could help. We could also maybe help through some mentoring programs. I
Hmm.
mean, it's easy for us to connect with our schools, and this is how we could maybe reach out to certain schools and ask them if they have professors or experts or maybe senior level students, let's say, or fresh graduates that could maybe mentor the existing um, young entrepreneurs.
Hmm.
Um, and again, we are a very diverse network, so we could also find someone
Hmm.
from a very specific industry sector.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think this is something that we could do. If you are part of the network, if you're part of your school is part of CEEMAN network, I
Yeah.
think you could also get access to a database of cases that I
Hmm.
mentioned earlier, because we write a lot of cases that are very local to Central and Eastern Europe, but not necessarily just this region. So if you could get inspiration and ideas and context from those materials as well. Yeah.
And what would you say, like a message to young people who would like to join this program? Why should they do it, this project?
Well, I mean, you get access to a powerful network of people who speak the same language and share the same values. This is very
Hmm.
important. And the more the merrier, usually, when it comes to cooperation. Um, it keeps you engaged, it keeps you informed, it gives you new ideas, and you could even find maybe some funding. You can maybe find some partners for your future success.
Hmm.
Uh, you get a full picture what is happening in the region, kind of broadens your horizon, and you benchmark yourself to what other people do in the same
Hmm.
I mean, in the same what's it called, framework.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just get a new perspective, and that would be impactful for the success of your own venture.
Hmm.
And it's not usually just the profits, it's also the impact that you make. And
Hmm.
maybe your case and your experience and your story would also spark interest or spark motivation and inspiration for someone. So it's really, I think, about being connected. That's why a lot of networks in the world exist, and we exist as CEEMAN. And this project even happened just to bring people closer to learn from each other and to
Hmm.
collaborate.
Well, thank you
Yeah,
very much. Thank you for joining this podcast series. I will upload
yeah,
this episode on YouTube and on Spotify, and I'll be happy if you can also share it among your network and on your social media. And I hope to see you
sure.
again on CEEMAN conference, or maybe I come to Slovenia. So
Please do, please do. We are always happy to host you, and
yes,
we are happy that we are endorsing this project. And I wish
yeah,
you and the project team all the best.
yes. Thank you
So,
very much, and see you soon.
yeah.
Bye
Bye.
bye.